Okay, we are driving from Austin to Houston, and we are now decided today on the 13th of November to start documenting our trip. Veronica and I have been in the 14th. There you go, Monday the 14th. We've been in the United States since what day did we arrive?
We arrived on the 23rd of April. So almost 8 months.
Almost 8 months. And we came to America because I won a visa in the US lottery, and Veronica, as my wife,
the green card, won the green card.
I won the green card lottery. And Veronica, as my wife, automatically gets to come with me because otherwise you can't come without your wife.
Yeah, you can.
Which is why we're here. So we've been documenting this to a small degree, but we met with a friend last night who inspired us to start documenting this event. It's not an event, but our journey,
Sort of.
our ongoing journey while we're here in the States. Because as you can imagine, driving around the States or even traveling to America is quite an interesting concept and an interesting journey. And we happen to be traveling around America, so we have some work. We bought this car that we're driving in now, a Cadillac, because apparently that's the only way to drive around America. But we bought this car, and about 2 months ago, I got some work, which has brought me driving around America doing interviews for a client. So we started in North Carolina, essentially.
Well, the plan was never really doing this, what we're doing right now, because when we decided to go to America, we planned to settle and find a home and a job in just the normal traditional way how you want to do it, nice and secure. However, Corona happened all over the world, so for us it seemed to be the smartest thing to not just pay rent in an apartment and hang out in a lockdown or something. So that was a bit risky for us, so we decided to travel with mainly Workaway.
Well,
was the start. That
what
we said
happened?
we'd travel and work with locals.
So Veronica found a program called Workaway, which is a program where you go to somebody's property or house. It can be a farm, it can be just a regular property, it can be somebody running an Airbnb, and you do a bit of work at their place, and then you stay rent free, and they pay for your accommodation and food. So she found that she did a couple to test it out, and then I joined her in North Carolina after me staying in Los Angeles to pursue my acting. I came and joined up with her in North Carolina about 3 months ago, and we moved from North Carolina to Alabama, where we were going to continue the Workaway and then go up to New Orleans. However, I got the work contacted by this company to do interviews. So instead of going to New Orleans, we bought a car in Alabama, went to Florida, did some interviews there, drove up the coast through North Carolina again, but up the coast to Virginia, to Washington DC, where I had some work. I got some work on the way up there, shooting some hotels, so we did that. Then we went to New York City. From New York City, we did 4 more interviews, and then drove all the way down to Austin, Texas through Arkansas. So in that time, and basically in the time that we've been here, we've been through, look at the deer. That's cool. There's deer on the side of the road. I wish I could show you, but it's probably dangerous. But in that time, we've both been through 15 states. So we've seen quite a bit of America, and a friend last night was like, why aren't you documenting it? So this is what we're doing. We want to talk a little bit about our trip. I want to talk a little bit about what's been going on. Because America's a pretty interesting place. It has a lot of quirks. Let's name some. What are some of the strangest things that happen in America, Veronica?
Strangest things. I guess the strangest things are on the road, actually, where we are now. Like, people in America don't indicate much, and on freeways they don't like to move to the right lane to let people overtake on the left, so they just stay on the left lane. these things, especially bother Daniel a lot, but it's actually true, yeah.
Yeah, you have slow drivers that sit in the right lane. In Australia, it's the opposite, the left lane. So it's basically sitting in the overtaking lane, and they just sit there, and they're going really slow, and it happens a lot. Some of the other things are there's quite a few driving ones, like stop signs.
There's everywhere stop signs.
Way too many stop signs. And they tend to have them at cross intersections, don't they?
Yeah, that's where you normally have them, right?
Well, no, because normally in Australia and the rest of the world that I've noticed, one way.
Yeah, they have always stop signs, you mean?
Yeah, they have stop signs on for all 4 roads. So usually in Australia, anyway, the main street is not a stop sign. They just keep going, and then the smaller streets that come off the main street are a stop sign. But here,
everybody has to stop.
Everybody has to stop. Sometimes I've seen it at a property, at somebody's private house. They have a stop sign for the cars. At somebody's private property. I've even seen
and then
that.
you stop, and then the first person to stop is also the first who can go again. So you really actually need to pay attention. It's not like right before left or anything, or that road, like the straight road goes first. You literally have to wait and see, oh, who arrived first? Was it you? No, was it me? No, I don't know. Was it you? And then you kind of sometimes have like a little bit of a sign language.
It works, but it's just disjointed, right?
Yeah, and you need to pay a lot of attention who stopped first.
I guess that's the purpose of it, but it's just very unflowy. The other thing is, cars don't have front number plates. You don't have license plates or tags, as they call it, on the front of your car. Just don't have them, which I think is quite funny. Right?
Yeah, that's funny.
What are other things?
What other things?
You can turn right at a red light. So if you're turning right, in Australia it would be left at a red light. You can just turn right.
And the other thing
if there's no cars coming. It's like a stop sign.
Yeah. Unless it says you can't turn right when red, you can always turn right. But you obviously still need to check that there's nothing coming. And the other annoying thing is the taxes on food in restaurants.
The what? Taxes?
Tax and tip.
Nothing is what you ever pay in America.
No.
Like if something's $5, it's not $5. You take it to the counter, it's $5.40 or $7. Or, you know, a $50 phone credit is. Last time I paid $57. I don't even know why. But it's a $50 monthly top up. Cost me $57.
Because you changed the address, and that meant you changed the state, and in every state is a different tax.
Or even the regular one in the state that I got it still has an extra tax, so it still wasn't the same price. That's pretty funny. The coffee, a small coffee is a large coffee here. No such thing as a small coffee.
No, there isn't. I think, and the other thing is they don't have very good coffee. I mean, I don't drink coffee. I can't even judge it. But Daniel is a coffee lover. He's from Melbourne, obviously, the coffee metropole, you know. However, his favorite coffee place is now Starbucks.
Well, Starbucks failed in Australia. Starbucks is...
But here it's his favorite.
Well, it's the only place you know you're going to get a consistent coffee, even though it's burnt and bitter. Right, friends, this is about to cut out. We'll be back. So, it's an interesting time to travel around America because the camera turned off, so it's probably readjusted. Because it's COVID, so things are closed down, which is many ways made it a little less energizing and a little less happening, but at the same time given us more space to see things because there's less people around. Like for example, when we were in New York, we went to the Statue of Liberty and there was no line. And when I went there 2 years ago, there was a line a quarter of a mile long, which is about 250 meters, which is pretty long, if not longer actually. And we haven't had any of those issues. We also went to Graceland on the way through Tennessee, and again, not many people. So it's been pretty amazing. So we're going to continue documenting this journey from today onwards. It's a new moon, and for us that's kind of a little bit important. So we hope that this is the beginning of a new journey and a new story to tell, and a new way of telling that story. So we're entering Houston. we're in Texas. And here we go. And now, a few words from my sponsor. No, I'm just kidding. But Veronica, do you want to say anything?
I think you said everything.